People in your old circle, the old, you start changing your situation, your health, your finance, whatever, right? You have to understand, man, that it's not just going to be, happily ever forever after at that point. A lot of people think that when they start on their journey, whether it's health, whether it's their career, entrepreneurship, you think that once you have certain information and move toward that journey, that it's just smooth sailing, brothers. That's the absolute wrong mindset to have, man. So I'm giving you a heads up, brothers. You have to understand that your past is going to come see you. You think that a part of you that has been attached to you your whole life, the people in your old circle, the old circumstances, you think that world is just gone? Contraire, moon frere. That world is just circling back around, man. It's just getting momentum. It's just recalibrating to the new you, saying, let me come back around and see if he's about that life. Every single time, bro. But when the Bible says to seek ye first the kingdom, brother, I'm gonna tell you where a lot of people miss the bus on that. A lot of people think that, when it's referring to the kingdom, a lot of people think that, once I transition, once I leave this world, once I have a physical death, then I will be back in the midst of God. I will be in the kingdom, and I will have this ultimate peace and bliss. But what you have to understand, man, you have to understand that kingdom can be obtained now. Not only can be, has to be obtained first. That has to be man's first journey, is finding that kingdom. Because if not, brother, you will fall victim to this world, man. Find that state. Like when I say meditation, sleep, and death are all the same world. They're all the same world. It's just how deep you're submerged in it. The thing is, brother, you have to call that world your reality. You aren't praying. Your prayers cannot answer until you put boots on the ground, brother. Until you put boots on the ground. In other words, until you start the process of bridging the third dimension and the fifth dimension together, your prayers will not be answered, man. Even the Bible says faith without works is dead. Like everybody on the planet at this point has heard that in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But a lot of people are still stuck in their minds, man. A lot of people still can't make that transition to walking in that I am, man. You know what I understood too? What I come to find over the last few years.
First of all, the greatest thing on the planet is the knowledge of self, and basically the knowledge of the universe. For the mere fact that you are even interested in this or remotely interested in this at this particular time when shit is going on crazy out here, it means that you are the special evolved beings. Stop thinking like a human. You got to start thinking as a God. G-O-D, generator, operator, and destroyer. Is it not written in your law that ye are God? John chapter 10, verse 34, 35. But what is the hold up is that the actual gods do not realize they're God.
Hey, what's going on, brothers? What's going on, sisters? I know we started a little bit late, man, but we had some technical difficulties we were trying to get past and thought we had it ironed out. But here at the last minute, which was just seconds ago, we had more technical difficulties and brother Phil lost connection again. So we're just gonna freestyle for a minute, see if he can get back in. And it seems like I think he's knocking back on the doors, man. So we'll go ahead and chime in, man. But again, good. Thank y'all for joining us live today, man. Just really wanted to have a session on this Saturday, man. And I really don't go live on Saturdays. But for the last 2 weeks, that's been the scenario. So maybe it's a new thing. Maybe I'll start going live more. Maybe I'll start going live more on Saturdays. But one thing I wanted to talk about today, man, is, brothers and sisters, is, we really have no idea how much information is lost over time. And when I say that, I'm talking about like our parents. I'm talking about like our grandparents, our great grandparents. We have no idea how much simple information, how much major information is lost over time, right? So, and I'm talking about, whether it's home remedies. I remember my grandmother, man, used to walk around the house with like onion and bell peppers on a necklace or something, or onions in her socks type stuff, man. And she was saying she was healing everything, right? Or relationship advice or spiritual advice. Like there's just a lot of tidbits of information, man, that I feel is just lost over time. So it feels good when you cross a man's path that devotes his life to digging into the deepest reservoirs of knowledge, to dig into those things that were lost, man. And the brother that I'm having on today, man, is a brother that does that kind of living. That is his quest, man. So today, brothers, I want to introduce to you, man, a man that I respect and love on the highest of levels, brother. A man that is leaving his mark, on this planet. A man that leaves his mark, with everybody he encounters, man. A man that's the voice of the power circle. I want to present to y'all brothers today, man, brother P. Taylor.
One of the things, like I said before, man, is realize that you have this moment. This moment's never going to come again. And you have to really check in. You have to know what your principles are. You have to check in with yourself and am I being fake with myself or being real with myself? You're the only one that can answer that question. Nobody else can answer that question for you. You probably can put on an act, maybe. A lot of times, and people know if you're not speaking from the heart or come from the heart, man. You got to check in with yourself and see where you are, and know yourself enough to know, is this going against what I really believe? Everybody else is going over here. I really want to go over here. I don't feel like going to that picnic. I don't feel like going to that event. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going just because everybody else. You have to live by your standards and check in with yourself.
Y'all welcome brother P. Taylor.
Greetings, everyone. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing great.
Man, good to see your face today, brother.
Can you see me? Can you hear me? You got me?
Got you loud and clear, brother. How's your day going, man?
Oh, my day is excellent, man, because I say so.
I heard that, bro. I heard that, man. It's good.
It's excellent because I say so. Look.
Oh, did I lose you?
Out.
Oh, I got you right there, man. Well, first off, man, before we even dig in, bro, I want to give you your flowers first, man. Because, and I'll say this, like the impact you've had, and I'll say on the power circle, the impact you've had on the power circle and all the men inside the power circle, bro.
You with me? You got me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. You were breaking up a little bit, man. I just want to give you your flowers, man, because the impact you've had on the members of the power circle, man, is unfathomable, bro. And the impact you've had on me personally is unfathomable, bro. Like you've put me on to so many different pieces of literature, so many pieces of or just ways of thinking, man. And I just want to say I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you do, man. I appreciate all the nuggets. The nuggets you give, bro. Can you hear me, man? Or am I losing you?
I can hear you. It's like we have a little storm. I dipped in before the storm came. There might be a little bit of storm, but that's okay. We're gonna work through this. Go ahead.
Okay, bet, brother. Well, if you lose connection, man, we lose you, man. That's all to the good, man. I understand the storm is there, bro.
Okay, yeah, but we won't. We're gonna hang with this. We're gonna do this. Go ahead.
I bet, bro. So the first thing I want to ask you, man, just a general question, man. What is your, from a spiritual perspective, bro? What is your perspective on the meaning or the purpose of life?
Okay, that's a real big question to ask me at the top. And the wise men that I've sat in front of told me is to live it. Too many people analyze it. Too many people try to, if you live your life, you'll understand your life. It's not one of those things where you can pick up a book and somebody's going to tell you what the meaning of life is. Okay. It's almost like you have to find out for yourself. For every man, I think he has his own journey. So he has to find out what it is for himself.
for me personally, if you're asking me as a personal question, my quest has always been to develop myself as a spirit and as a being in reality, and also to help others to move forward in this evolution. This evolution of the cosmos. We move forward. You know what I mean? I was looking at something the other day, and they said, or listening to Transurfing, and he said that the purpose of life really is to come back to the Creator, come one to the Creator, and also we're here to experience things, because the Creator's here to experience in itself. Even in the negative aspects and positive aspects, we are experiencing growing in ourselves. So that's a whole lot. That's what I got so far.
Yeah, and that's heavy, man. You mentioned, in that you said real quick, man, about finding that journey. I want to ask you this: do you think that journey is supposed to be found earlier in age, or do you think a man is supposed to live a little bit, experience something, and then tries to find his way back home?
Okay, well, that's a good question as well. Depends on the man. Sometimes, you have people, for example, like Hendrix. I always talk about Hendrix. Hendrix changed the music world in 4 years. Most people don't know that. He was only recording 4 years. And those 4 years, he turned the industry on its head. He died at 27. So did he find his purpose? It looks like it, because music was not the same. Jazz musicians were playing different after Hendrix. So I think it's an individual thing. It's what you're dealing with. Brahms didn't write his first symphony until he was 64, 65, 66 years old. So, you have the time to do it. It's just doing it. You don't want to spend all of your life somewhere in a corner, not doing your thing. You know what I mean? And I think that's the big issue that we have with everybody on the planet. You know what I mean? You don't want to spend your life. You don't want to spend your life, hiding in a corner somewhere under a sheet or something. You have to be out here and being what you are. I might be sitting under a sheet in the corner.
I agree, bro. I think, man, and I didn't always think this, like even some years ago when that, maybe 7, 8, when on YouTube, man, that word purpose began to be tossed around a lot. Like it's kind of new to the YouTube community, within the last 7 years, purpose. And even when I first started hearing everybody talk about purpose, I understood the significance of it. I understood that it was something that a man must tap into, but it wasn't until I fully plugged into purpose that I understood, man, that a man really isn't even living until he finds purpose. Like you might can have some wins in life, you might can have some good times and all this stuff, but you aren't really fulfilled, which means you're always going to be seeking fulfillment in everything outside of self until you find that purpose, man. So how do you think a man that's in a common mindset, that's just living his life just willy-nilly, like what should he do if he one day understands that, hey, you know what? I don't think I'm fully plugged in. How should he go about plugging into his purpose?
I think, well, here's what is a good idea. Go find yourself a park. This is or a beach or somewhere. Take your shoes off and sit down and just ask. And just keep asking, and keep asking, and the reason people fail is because they give up. That's the main reason people fail. People don't fail because they're failures. People are not failures. People lose because they give up. And if your quest is to find your purpose, that's the first part of finding your purpose, is the quest to find your purpose. Like, if you look at like Don Quixote, Man of La Mancha, he was trying to quest to find his purpose, and his quest and his purpose was to find his purpose. So if you start with that, that's a good place to start.
Yeah, I think like I know for a fact a lot of men, desire to plug into that, but I think there's a even larger amount of men that don't even know that way of thinking, that way of living even exists. And since they move like that, man, they're always really just scratching and fiending and looking for that taste, man. And we can get lost in consumerism, we can get lost in women, we can get lost in every single thing else, man. But until a man finds his purpose, like, it has to be priority. It has to be priority,
Right.
man. You know. So let me ask you this, man. I know you are very, and we oftentimes, man. We talk in a circle. You know, and really what I'm going toward is really ways of staying plugged into that purpose once a man finds it. Like, I'm always talking about a man's non-negotiables or a man's rituals, or his daily practices that keeps him in that zone, man. How important do you think rituals are? And what are some of your rituals, man, that keeps you in tune? Because every time we talk, brother, regardless of what you have going on in life, you're still in that center. So what kind of rituals do you have in place, or how important is that, bro?
Well, there's a book called Atomic Habits, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would suggest read that book. He talks about you are your habits, and a habit is a ritual. I honestly need to chant more. I have been doing other stuff, but my thing is chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo in the evening and in the morning. And that deals with the highest form of Buddhism and deals with the essence of the Lotus Sutra, right? Which what it does is it turns your negative karma, your negative energy into positive energy. It almost feeds your spirit for the day. So when I don't do it like I'm supposed to, I'm a little hungry spiritually. I'm a little energetically, it feeds my mind too. It makes me more intelligent divinely, connects me to different things. You know what I mean? That's one thing I do.
I heard you speak on that before. You spoke on that a while back in the circle. You mentioned that, man, and I never heard that before, ever heard in my life. And I found out that I know there are a lot of people, in high places, man, that stand on that. And I know Tina Turner was very heavy into that, man. I remember seeing a video of her, man, where she was like, I mean, she was standing on it, bro. And and I still don't understand. I still don't really, like, I don't understand a whole lot, but I do see the power in it, man. I do. Even when I listen to it, sometimes I listen to it every once in a while. There is a energy behind it, bro. So
what it is resonance and frequency. Tesla talked about resonance and frequency, and what this thing does is line you up with the universal frequency. It taps you in, like you say. And Tina Turner, and Tina Turner, she did it and actually got her out of the relationship with Ike. Now, Ike, that movie that you saw, What's Love Got to Do with It, was a bit exaggerated. Tina even said that herself. She felt bad about it. But that situation was not good for the both of them. Their energy was not working. So she had to get out of it. And she left with some pennies in her pocket, and she ended up flipping and creating a whole new career in the 80s, which is, phenomenal. The other stories, I could one day I'm just going to do a testimony of what I've seen. There's one quick one. One of my friends, he was in Vietnam. He's quite a bit older than me, but he was in Vietnam, and he had just started practicing. And he and his friend had just started practicing. So look at that, the shadows.
Yeah, hey, if that storm cut you off, it's out to the good, brother.
Yeah, it's not gonna cut me off, but it's like whenever you go and into the light, sometimes the darkness will try to oppose you, but it won't. There we go. So anyway, so long story short, he was in the foxhole fighting in Vietnam, and his whole platoon is in there, and they got hit with a missile. And everyone was knocked out. When he woke up, there was only two people alive, him and his friend. Both of them were chanting. Wow. He's never missed a day of chanting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He started chanting when he was over there. Yeah. And there's other stories like that too. Lady was in Liberia, and she was chanting. See, all these obstacles, man. Lady was she was chanting, and they were dragging people out of the house, killing them. And when they were all of people in the circle of the house chanting, the soldiers came in, walked in, and walked out. They never touched them. They went to the next house.
Who put you on to that?
So yeah, this my ex. That's why I met her.
Wow.
That's why I met her. And but she wasn't the first one. So I'm gonna tell you something about this practice.
Yeah.
Okay. She wasn't the first one. Whenever you hear somebody say this and you hear it, you will hear it again and you'll hear it again. When I was 12 years old, there's this television show that came on called Love American Style. And this lady was chanting on the show. She was going, Nami Origekyo, Nami Origekyo, Nami Origekyo. Now I was 12, I was kind of spiritual. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. So I went around the house chanting it. And the story is that if you hear this, the seed of Buddhism is planted in you. So you will hear it again. And not only that, but you'll hear it in the next lifetime and the next lifetime and the next lifetime. You always, it'll come back to you and someone will say it to you. So then I ran into another friend, it was another musician, music teacher. She told me about it. Then I was dating my girlfriend and she was telling me about it. And I ran into this girl, Indian girl, that wanted to talk to me, not Native American lady. And she was telling me about chant. She wanted me to chant with her. So, and people were coming up to me on the bus talking about Nami Orengekyo, right? So if you hear this, it will show up in your life again. It's just, I've seen it over and over and over again. It's something about that, the spirit. Yeah.
And like I said, I've listened to it during meditation at times. And it is a peaceful frequency, man. There's a vibration to it, man, so yeah, it's a deep thing, man.
Well, the thing about this is, and if you chant and we chant through something called the Gohonzon, it's a scroll that was created and passed through the Buddha now almost 1,000 years ago. And if you chant to this, and your forward lives is eradicated. So your karma starts to become eradicated and things that are supposed to come to you will start to come to you as a result. In other words, you'll have good benefits and good fortune, and your wisdom will grow and everything. It clears up a lot of things around you.
That makes sense, man. Give a shout out to brother Jerry, man. Brother Human Imagination says aloha all the way from Hawaii, man. Good to see you, brother Jerry. Hey, I want to ask you this.
Hey, brother Jerry, I'm gonna call you Jerry. I was gonna call him.
Yeah. I ain't seen brother Jerry in a while, man. Good to see you, brother. Now I was gonna say this, man. Before like the Kabbalion, because really you and another brother put me on a Kabbalion at the same time, man. A brother sent me that book. Matter of fact, Mr. Infinity from Florida. He sent me that book, and it might have sit on my shelf for some months, I believe, man. And one day he called me and was saying, "Hey, man, did you ever read that book, the Kabbalion?" I said, "Man, I haven't dove into it yet." That Sunday, we got on a Power Circle call, and you were like, "Hey, this book, Kabbalion." I said, "Hey, I have that book." And then you kind of put me on to the other book that's like it. There's another book you always talk about. I got that one too. But so when I'm gonna say this, man, when I read that opened up a whole nother chamber in my mind, and really it just allowed me to see the world different, man. It made me understand the creative process a little better, man. So I want to ask you, like when Brother P. Taylor sees himself in a position, and now he's getting ready to go to another timeline in life, or get ready to go to another level in life. What's his creative process?
Okay. I'm trying to understand when I go to another timeline, what's my creative process?
Or just like your manifestation process, period.
Oh, well, how do I manifest things? Okay, that's a good question. I have a lot of different ways of doing that. If you chant on stuff, a lot of times things will come to you if you chant. A lot of times I'll use visualization, all that, things that other people use. But what you have to understand is it's not the process, it's you. So the thing I'm finding out is I'm reading this book by Helen Hadsell, and she never lost a contest. She's a contest winner, right? And one of the things she said is you never negative. You never be negative to people. Always be positive to people. Always try to speak to people positively. Carry yourself in a dignified, positive manner, because you resonate things, right? And the universe is going, oh, or the all is going, oh, okay, all right. And so what you do is you attract things, right? So that's my latest thing is like, I want to, no matter what, you always remain in a positive light. And people will say, well, it didn't work. I didn't get it this time. Well, the thing is, you didn't get it this time, but that does not mean you're not going to get it. You always hold that, right? You hold that, say, I know I'm going to get it. It's mine. You know, people will run after stuff physically and try to get it, right? But what I'm getting is that's not the way to get it. The way to get it is to make a choice. I choose to have this because there's no reason for you not to have it if you choose it, right? And you do what your part is, which is not necessarily running after things, but you do what's you prepare for things. You prepare for it, right? It will show up
I like that.
because faith is preparation. Faith is not, oh, I'm faith. No, faith is preparation. Faith is doing the work, right? So if you know, say you wanted to be an executive at a bank or something, right? So, but you're janiting, you working your way through college, right? You study, you learn finance, you learn the game. You know what I mean? You learn what you need to learn, and you stay in that, and you stay in that, and you stay in the space of creating the space thing happening in your life. You stay in that space, and the faith is you're working your way toward it. You understand? You're working your way toward it. Luck is opportunity meeting preparation. They say that all the time. You just prepare for your dream. You know what I mean? If you're
I
just
feel
sitting
that,
back
man.
on your back and say, oh, sitting back on your back, now that doesn't mean chasing your dream. What that means is you preparing for it. And people that oh yeah, I got to go, blah blah blah, money, blah blah, all that kind of thing. A lot of times they don't have the faith that a person who just works steady toward their thing. And these people that work steady toward their thing, they're not bragging about it. They're not talking about it. They're not running here. I got to go clock some money. They're not doing that, right? They're just working toward their thing, right? And they're preparing themselves to receive what they need to receive. And you'll get it. You'll get it. I'm not saying this out of reading a book. I'm saying it out of experience. Yeah. Y'all, I tell a story in the Power Circle all the time about me going to California. I could probably tell it again. If y'all
Share it with us, brother.
Again. Okay, so I was trying to go to this school. I'm dating myself. 1977, 78. There's a school called Musician Institute, GIT, right? My dreams go to that school. I found out about it. My music teacher went to that school. So the school is famous because you had Red Hot Chili Peppers guitar player, drummer come out of there. White Zombie, Michael Jackson's guitar players came out of there. I could drop names. Just Sade's guitar players came out of there. It's stupid the amount of people came out of there. Right. Exactly. And the people come to the school looking for you, right? So when you leave that school, you kind of supposed to know some things, right? And not to say I do, but anyway. But the point is, the matter is, so I was talking to the counselor on the phone, right? And to the point where I knew her name, she knew my name. I called her up. The switchboard sent me over. It was like we was like friends, man. What's going on? What's going on? I called up one day. She said, Phil, she said, you got a decision to make. I said, what's going on? She said, the school is getting ready to go from under $10,000 to $24,000, $12,000 in a year. I'm like, what? She said, yeah. And then eventually it's going to be a college. So they have one more year of this program. It's like a tech school kind of thing, but it's very intense. We would have 12-hour days, brother, just hammering all kinds of things, concerts and in the studio and writing tunes, and just 12 hours a day. And sometimes it will go longer than that. People be up there 4 o'clock in the morning. We work all the time on that thing, weekends too. So I said, okay. I said, what's my timeline? She said, you got to be out here by August. Now here's the problem. See, I have been out of work. I just got a job with this DoD company working through IBM, right? I was like in computer operations, right? So I just got this job. I got the job in June. So I had to try to figure out, damn, I just got the job, man. They paying me is good. I'm working 12 hours, 12 and 4, 4 days, 12, or was it 24, 12, 4 on and 3 off or something like that. So I'm sitting there, dang, so I'm trying to figure this out, man. I've got to go, right? So my aunt found out about it. She said, what's going on, baby? I said, I need to get some help to get out here to California. She said, okay. She said, what you need? I just need some money. So she gave me like 2,400, almost three, but 2,400. And I had some money saved up. I got on a plane. That's all I had. And I got out there, and it was in a Holiday Inn when they had the Holiday Inns, and I was trying to find some place to stay. I walked into the student lounge, and this guy was putting something on the board. I said, "What you putting on the board, man?" He said, "I'm looking for a roommate." So, what kind of roommate you looking for? He said, you ain't gonna have a room. He said, you're gonna have a couch. It's gonna be in the corner.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in the corner, but it will be private, right? Because the room is huge, and it's like a big room, right? He said, you'll have all your stuff and everything be in the corner. I said, how much is it? $250. So I was in it. $250, and I was in, right? My mother was sending me care packages. She said, what do you want? I said, send me spaghetti. So she was sending me spaghetti. The other brothers, one brother would buy the sauce, one brother would buy the bread, one brother would buy some butter, the other brother would buy some salad, another brother would buy some tea, iced tea. And we get together, have study and eat parties. And that's how everybody ate. We make this big pot of spaghetti and everybody ate. You know, we was working together like that. We do like 3 and 4 in the morning sessions, working on the music theory and the ear training, all that kind of stuff, right? So the guy comes to me. One of the guys comes to me and says, Phil, he says, your money's running low. What you gonna do? So I said, I don't know, man. So he looked at me. He could tell, man, I was like fire for this thing. So he worked some things out. He came back to me and said, I got you, right? I didn't know if I was going to be in the school or not, but he worked and he said, I got you. So he got me, right? But yeah, man, you know, and I knew 2 people in California. I knew maybe 3. There was a dude that my ex went to school with. I went to his 2 parties in California. One of those parties, I broke up with my ex, but they were friends. But the second party I went to, I met a girl there, and she let me stay at her house. We hung out for a month. My mom was like, when you come home? I'm like, I'm just trying to see what's up out here. So I got to stay out in California and see what was going on, right? But I knew like maybe 3 people out there. And I got on the plane and just, that was it.
You know, I want to ask you this, man, because this is a critical point. First, let me give a shout out to brother Grove Dwayne. Appreciate the super chat, brother. He says everything that I've been doing a year ago has come into reality. Some negative put my screen up, brother. He said some negative incidents have happened, which let me know my old world is crumbling and my new world is slowly forming. Life is beautiful. I'm grateful. I think that's a strong statement, Brother Grove. Appreciate that super chat. But to understand, and this is one thing we talk about a lot, man. Understand that when you're moving in a different direction, when you're doing something new, that old world is going to crumble. Because when that old world begins to crack, a lot of people stop in their tracks and try to repair it, try to put putty on the walls, and they look up a year later and they're like, man, I'm in the same situation. It was like, yeah, man, because when that new world was forming, you didn't want to step into it. So appreciate that super chat, brother Grove. Which I want to come back and ask you a question, brother Phil, kind of pertaining to this same thing. Like you spoke about the opportunity, or opportunity to go to that school popped up. You just got a new job, so you were kind of in a dilemma. You were like, hey, you know what? I got this job. So it came down to you making a decision, and it lined right up with what Brother Grove was saying, man. Like, what was it in you? Because I feel like this right here, whatever it is you're about to say, what was it in you that made you make that decision? Because I feel like once people understand whatever that is, it'll change everything. So what was it inside of you to say, you know what, that's why I'm going. I'm leaving the comfort. I'm going there.
The thing is, and I've learned this to understand what this is. Again, the Transurfing book, it says that you have the heart and you have the mind. The mind will tell you, no, there's no way that I can do this. I got to try to figure it out. La, 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 la. The heart will tell you, let's go, right? It's always the heart. You always got to follow the heart because the heart is right. The mind only knows what it can see. See, The mind is electric, and this is a Kabbalion, right? This is what Kabbalion would say. The mind is electric, so the mind wants to affect things. Electricity makes moves on things, but the heart is magnetic, and the heart creates this sphere, and it sort of like pulls things to you. It sort of like tells you how to move, and uses the mind to navigate, right? You should work with both of them. And when the heart and the mind work together, that's love. You understand? When those two things work together, it's love. You can call it love or whatever you want it, the God energy or whatever you want to call it. When a man creates something, a piece of art, and he uses his technique, but he also uses his heart, he has a masterpiece. When you have your grandmother, she go in the kitchen and she cooks that potato salad, and she knows how to cook them and cut them onions up and put them things in there. You know what I'm saying? And then she puts her thing into that. That's the heart and that mind. See what I'm saying? You have people that can cook, man. You have people that cook that know how to put the recipe and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? But unless they put their heart into it, it's not going to taste right.
When you say heart
into everything.
Yeah, I hear you clearly, man. When you say heart, do you think that's something that's more heard or something that's more felt? Like that thing that guided you, that thing that you listen to, is it a vibration? Is it in intuition?
No, I wasn't even thinking. There was no question about it. This is something I prepared for years. Because when I wanted to go originally, I wasn't good enough getting that school. I had to go through some things before I was ready. It says in the Kabbalion, when the student is ready, the master will appear. That was the master, and it was not a decision as much as a choice. You have choices in this life, right? For me not to make that move, it would be foolish for me, because that was the universe taking its foot and kicking me in the butt. Say, you really want to go? Okay. Now let me tell you what I was doing before that. I'm just thinking about it. So what I was doing was, I told you all about the balloon thing where I was, where you create the bubble in the room and you feed it and you put your dream inside the bubble. And let the
I think I've heard
manifest.
You say that. I think I might have
it's
heard
okay.
You
it's on one of my, it's on my alchemistic YouTube thing. Anyway, I was using that. I had a picture of the school, and it was next to my bed. And I would look at this picture when I woke up in the morning, and I would look at this picture when I went to bed at night. I had been to California twice, so I had pictured myself walking the streets of Hollywood Boulevard. I could see myself walking down Hollywood Boulevard because I'd done it, right? That's probably why I was able to go, because I saw myself walking around the school. I had been inside the school, because when my friend was there, she took me to the school, and I got this tour of the school. I knew I was going to that school, right? So I would do this all the time. I would feed the dream, and then I would practice. I would work on my thing. I would practice, pick the thing up and work on it, right? And so that's what I mean by preparation. Preparation is not necessarily always running after the thing. Preparation starts up here, because the universe is mental. You got to create it in your mind and your heart first before you can create it outside of yourself. So the die was already cast. I don't know. I see. The point is, another thing is, people live in fear because they don't want to move, because how am I going to do this? It's none of your business. Like the people always say, Les Brown said, none of your business how you going to do it.
Yeah.
You want to do it, so you move on it, and the door opens. That's how you do it. And that's what faith is. Faith is moving on that thing when it's time to move, and the door will open, right? It wasn't even about courage. It wasn't even about being, I'm determined and all that kind of thing. It was something I had to do. And if it's something you have to do, I have to do this. And I get up in the morning, and I love the YouTube. I love my music. I love all this. And I look at some of this stuff, and I look at some of the things that I'm doing. I'm like, I have to do it. It's like I have to do it,
man.
You know what I mean? It's like sometimes I don't even want to do it. I have to do it.
I feel that.
And yeah, that's it. And it's really crazy, but that's what
let me ask you this, man. Like what you're saying, it's crystal clear. But just as much as I know that the things you're saying, the way you're talking, the experience you had, you understand that you can't even have that conversation with everybody, because they really won't even understand. Like, what do you think? What do you think a man has to do? Like, because a lot of stuff we talk about, man, it's only a small percentage of people having those real conversations. For a man that's like, say, if a man is chiming in right now and he's like, huh, like this sounds like something interesting. These brothers are talking about something a little bit deeper than what I've grew up hearing. Do you suggest a man to start reading? Do you suggest a man to start going inside? Like, what should be the first step a man should do to get to that enlightenment, that zone that you're in now?
That's a good question. They've been asking that for centuries. But what I would do, well, you can chant, but I would say that you got to know what you're passionate and what you love. That helps. The thing that they always ask, they always said that the old timers used to say to me was, "Would you do it for free?" If you do it for free, man, and you love it, then maybe that's what you need to be doing. There's a difference between, I guess, between your passion and your purpose. One of my mentors told me that, she called me the other day. She wrote 8 books, man. She's an angel reader. She's amazing, named June Michael. And she told me, she said, a long time ago, she said, you love music, but you're a metaphysician. You're a metaphysician. That's one of the things that your gifts, and the music as well. So, but you'll have, one of the things you could do is ask your friends, what do you think I'm good at? What do you think I love to do? Ask the people around you. You can do that's a concrete thing you can do. Then you ask the universe, man. Go talk. This is gonna sound really crazy, so go talk to the trees, man. When I was 7, 8 years old, I was talking to trees. They thought I was crazy.
Yeah,
Walk up
that's
and
a
I sit
real
up,
thing.
man.
That's a
I'm
real
sitting up and
thing, man.
I could sit up and look at the trees, man, at nighttime, and I could look at them. I could feel them, right? And I would just sit up and feel them, man. You can sit up and you can feel nature.
That's connection, man.
What you do is you strip away that and allow yourself to feel it. It's again the heart. The heart will tell you what to do, but you have to be willing to listen. You got to listen to the heart, man.
Yeah.
You like my ladies out here. You know that dude is for you or not. You know if he is or not. Don't fool yourself. Oh yeah, he got the job, he got the money, man. He got that Benz, baby. You know what I mean? No.
So let me ask you this. I'm glad my bad, but I'm glad you mentioned it, man, because one thing I believe that can happen, man, when a man finally does plug in and he connects to that part of his life and finds purpose, is very easy. If he isn't aware of certain things, he can get with the woman and she could easily snatch him out of that, man. But at the same time, if he gets with the right one, it can amplify, what he's built, man. So what would you say, from a spiritual perspective, what would you say the benefits are of bringing a woman in?
Well, the fact is, see, the man is the electric pole. The woman is the magnetic pole. And I'll explain it like this. I'm getting ready to get a little metaphysical, if you don't mind. But
do you think,
see,
brother?
a man's mind is magnetic, and magnetism is cool. So a man should always have a cool mind, right? And he has a passionate heart, or passionate, loins and heart, right? Woman's mind is electric, and her loins is cool, right? So you have there's like magnets with different poles, right? If you could get those 2 magnets to line up in the cross, right, where you have one pole here, one pole here, one pole here, one pole here, you have actually you have is an electric motor, believe it or not.
It's a
Because
powerful
the
thing.
way electric motor works is the pole becomes magnetic, right, and it pulls, right, and the other pole becomes electric and it pushes, and so you have one pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push. So as above, so below. If we understand things in the physical realm, and physics was physical, if we understand that realm, we understand what happens in the metaphysical and the spiritual realm. So when you have that partnership, there should be that pull and push, right? And it creates this energy. It creates this almost a sphere, a bubble, or aura. We'll call it a relationship aura, right? Very powerful,
Man.
right? The woman is the manifester.
Facts.
She is now. I'm gonna tell you something. Like, you know, the old pimps, my bottom girl, right? But what people don't understand what the word bottom means, and my brothers in the what is it, the 5%ers, they call the sisters earths. The woman is the earth, okay? She is the floor, right? And sisters don't understand that's a powerful position to be in, because you holding my brother up, right? She's the earth, she's the floor, she's holding it down, right? It's not the man is holding down, it's the woman is holding it down. Because that brother wasn't, if he wasn't eating, he didn't have no clean clothes, he didn't have, you know, he'd have his mind together, you know what I mean? She had nobody to rub his shoulders. He couldn't do what he needed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's the war. There's a lot going on out here. So he needs like the stability in the earth to hold him in the earth, right? That's the advantage. That's one of the advantages. The earth is a magnetic kind of thing. And so he's electric, so he needs a magnet and the electricity to work together. That's where the power comes in.
I'm gonna read this and get your thoughts on what Brother Grove said again. Appreciate the super chat again, Brother Grove. I appreciate the love, man. Love and support, man. Brother Grove said, a friend called me a few days ago and asked me, what you up to? I replied, I'm moving, bro. I'm just moving. Many opportunities have appeared. I can't lie. I have a bit of fear because of the unknown land I'm headed towards. So it sounds like Brother Grove is just saying, I'm focused in, I'm locked in. Yeah, I guess he's pretty much just making a point of being locked in. A friend called and said, I'm locked, I'm moving. I replied, I'm moving, just moving. So brother Grove, and I would love for you to come on if you're able to cam up, Brother Grove. Is it just that you're in that zone? Because I think this, man. I believe that certain parts of a man's journey, he has to be like that. Like there are certain parts, man, where it's good to fellowship and connect. But at certain parts of the journey, like when a man is going through that healing stage and identifying with all of his traumas and all that stuff, a man has to kind of sit still in that dark place by himself. And like he can't really have any outside interference. And during times like that, man, I'm cutting cell phones off. And the main part when I think a man really has to isolate himself and shut partners off, shut, women off, that, random, whatever, it is when he gets to, as far as he can travel. Because once a man travels so far, far down that journey, getting to that highest version of himself, like he can no longer walk the path. Like you can't do any more tasks, you can't do any more praying, you can't do anything, man. It's just a matter of becoming. And when a man is transcending or becoming to that next version, he has to pretty much isolate himself from everything. Even if he's in a household with like a wife, I mean, he has to spend hours a day, man, of maybe time spending outside on the back porch or time in his office. So I agree with you saying. I kind of agree with you saying, with Brother Grove, where he says a friend called and you just saying, hey, I'm moving. Many opportunities have appeared. So yeah, when we say I have a bit of fear because of the unknown land I'm headed towards, that's a beautiful thing, man. What would you say about that, Brother Phil, about him saying there's a fear of that unknown land he's moving toward?
Well, I'm going to use an old cliche. There's a saying, and there's a character in Chinese, and the character for fear is the same character for excitement and opportunity. It's the same character. So when you take fear and you take that energy and you move it along the line of degrees, you can take the fear and move it to excitement, and you can move it to enthusiasm, and you can move it to what's the word I'm looking for? It's like the power, courage, opportunity. You know what I mean? You're excited about something, and yeah, transmit it to enthusiasm. You know what I mean? Yeah, and understand that if you stand in your place and you stand on your choice, right? And here's the thing that people, and I'm really getting this right. that people will just say they want something, right? And they'll run out and they'll say, well, I have to do this, you know, but that's not the way to do it, right? You may want to do some planning, yes, but you can't plan the whole thing. What's going to happen is you can't see everything on your radar. That's what I got that from Kevin Trudeau. I give credit. You can't see everything on your radar. Your mind can only see a certain sphere around you, and it can only deal with certain facts. You don't know everything in the universe, but your heart, which is magnetic energy, has been proven scientifically. The heart is magnetic, knows everything, right? Your heart. So you trust your heart, and you put your heart and your mind together, right? And like I was saying, right? And you let it go. Now there be maybe a day like you'll go. A friend of mine called me about advice on a job and said, you know, I didn't get the job, and I said, well, the universe was leading you away from that path into something else. And that's the way you have to take it. You can't say I'm a failure and all that. What you have to do is maintain the faith and say, there's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. And I'm going to get my thing. And this is my choice. And I stand on it. Right. And it works out. It works out. I'm going to tell you something else about the trip to California. I was going to Grove School of Music. I said, man, I'm going to go to Grove School of Music because I want to be a composer. That's what I've been wanting to do since I was like, what 12, something like that. I want to be a composer, right? Grove School of Music is good, good composition school. So two things happened. Number one, I told my friend, right, one of my best friends, he went and told my mother. I was like, boy, you'll never be, my father would say you'll never be in the craft. But anyway, but he told everything my mother did everything she could to keep me from going to that school.
Really?
And she didn't, yes, and she didn't do it on purpose. You can't.
Was it out of love? Was it out of love? She was protecting you? Or?
Man, I don't know, but she didn't do it on purpose. I'm telling you. It was like she didn't do it on purpose. She was throwing shoes in my way. She didn't know what she was doing, man.
Dang it.
And and then the school closed. Okay, the school closed. So
you were attending?
No, this was my first choice, and I should have gone with the MI first, right? But I was thinking, my mind was thinking, okay, see, this is where it was working, right? My mind is thinking, okay, I want to go to Grove because of composition and la la la. I'm thinking, right? But I really want to go to the other school. So I applied to Grove. I applied to the school, right? They took my money, application, it was all getting all lined up. And I told my friend, and he told my mother, and they told family members and other people. And man, it just collapsed on me, right? Because I wasn't supposed to go. I was making the wrong decision. The universe would say, nope, you're gonna make this decision right here, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean, and I didn't look at it in terms of a failure. I looked at it in terms, okay, I'm supposed to go over here. I get it. Right. Yeah. I got it right away. Right. So when you have things that deter you from things, you must understand that you're going to win. I give you another example. You ready to hear it? Okay. When I was in 10th grade, okay. My brother, when I was a kid, when I was a little kid, my brother passed away. My brother Buster, David, rest in peace, Dave. He before he died, he looked at my mother and said, Philip's gonna be a tremendous football player. Like, really? Because he liked football. He's gonna be a great football player. My mother said, what? So when I got to high school, I walked on. I never played football. They wouldn't let me in junior high school. I was too big. When I walked on, coach looked at me. The first thing he said to me, and this is Roy Lester. He's like he used to coach Maryland University, but he was like a superior coach. He looked at me and said, I can make you All-American. That's the first thing he said to me. He said, work with me. So he didn't make me I didn't get All-American, but I got a lot of other stuff though. Yeah. But so what happened was my 10th grade, I said, you know what? I said, I want to win a state championship. But the problem is we didn't have a state championship. They didn't have one for my state. They didn't have one. I said, I want a state championship. That's what I want. Right. The next year, they put the state championship thing in. And we went. Right. And I said, the other thing I said is, I don't want to win my junior year. I want to win my senior year. We lost my junior year and won my senior year, and we beat the same
Dang.
team. And this team had not lost a game in 5 years.
Dang.
They had lost the game in 5 years. That's right. Right.
That's powerful, bro.
Yeah, and this was my vision. And this is when I was learning how to visualize stuff and everything. So there's no limit on what you can create. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be on a state championship football team. We didn't have no state championship football team.
That's heavy, man.
Yeah.
That's heavy. Like Jerry said, a human imagination. Brother Jerry said, pay attention to the end as if it's already done. And I believe that's key. That's key, man. I want to go to a comment from Demetrius D, and then I'm gonna bring him on, man, to chime in on it. Brother Demetrius D says, when a man is on his journey moving on that 2.0 version of himself and identifying his triggers along with his purpose, what should he pay more attention to, his heart or his mind? What say you, brother Phil? I'm gonna bring Brother Demetrius on as well.
I say you pay attention to everything, but I would say it's not what you pay attention to, it's what you listen to. And I say you listen to your heart. Mm-hmm. You can pay attention to everything. Pay attention to everything, because you will get clues, you will get signals. I could tell you some wild stories about that too. My life, man, has been like, it's some of the stuff I could tell you sounds like it came out of a book. Another story about California.
Oh, did we lose your brother? Hey, how about it, Demetrius D? Did you want to chime in? Did you want to come on, brother?
Hey, what's going
on, brother? Go ahead and chime in, brother Phil, man. I know you got a storm going on, so he probably come back here in a second. Okay. What's going on with you, though, brother?
I can't call it, brother, man. Being blessed.
What's up?
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm getting into your content a lot here recently, man, and I've had some stuff going on in my life right now, and it's like you were a godsend coming to me, right at this point in life, And so that's why I brought up that question, because, I'm going in and I'm doing a lot of inner work right now. And there's a lot of stuff I never knew. I'm coming from Southern Mississippi, and I'm from the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
This is nothing that has ever been made privy to me, So now at this point in the stage of my life, it's like I'm rewiring myself completely, and I'm having some cues, and I'm hearing some stuff in my heart and in my mind too. It's just I'm trying to figure out that way, trying to carve out that lane.
Yeah. I'm glad you said like. So when I read that, man, I'm seeing a little different now. So when you say what should a man pay attention more to, his heart or his mind? Like, you can look at it different ways, man. Like because I think they should work in harmony. Like the sole objective is for a man's heart and his mind to become one. Which you can look at that as same thing I talk about all the time, like a man's ego and his spiritual mind. Because like when we think like us brothers right here on this call, right? Like if we sit here and just think about higher possibilities, there's going to be limits. We're going to be saying, okay, you know what? We can achieve anything we want, but it's going to be very hard, because we're going to say, okay, well, we got to think about what mom and daddy taught us. We got to think about what grandmama and them taught us. We're in the Bible Belt, because I grew up in the Bible Belt too. So we have the traditional ways of thinking, and a lot of times that can cap us from going forward. But and that's the heart, in my opinion. But the mind is tapped into tapped into God. So a part of us is saying all things are possible through Christ, and all of us, a part of us is seeing the unlimited. So the sole objective of the game, man, which is the title of my book, is to find that one singular truth, which is to put both of those into one thought. To in other words, yeah, just marry those minds. In other words, whatever your mind can imagine or even tap into, allow your heart, allow your ego side to agree to it. Because even like the Bible says, when two come together, I am there also. So which means when you think about it, it almost sounds like that almost sounds like it could be a curse. Because if you're saying, okay, well, two come together, God is there also, that means now you need somebody else to find the higher levels of consciousness, when really you don't. Like God put that that power on us. Of course, it's more powerful when we join forces. Second marriage of man, third marriage of man, join forces in groups. But a man shouldn't have to find one other person to find God. You know, so that two coming together is when your heart and your mind say, okay, you know what? We're separate entities. Let's come together on one thought. Like if my mind says I can achieve this, I can start this company, I can get this LLC, I can quit this job, I can marry this woman, I can have the 2.5 kids, I can get this, $100,000 mark everybody wants. If the mind says I can get that, the ego or the heart has to agree to it. It has to agree. And once they agree, like that's when the marriage is made. Once they agree, like that's when I hate to say the word magic, but that's when the magic happens. Because you got to think about this too, man. It's one thing to say they agree. It's another thing to understand what it means for them to agree. Like it's easy for a man to say, okay, you know what? I believe, my mind believes I can do all these things. So let me just send my prayers up to the heavens and let God do his thing. Like that's not how it works, man. Like it takes like I use my words carefully, but like the ego side and the Christ side or the higher side. Like once you send that energy up, those thoughts up, it's a marriage. So like the Kundalini teach, as above, so below. You can't just send prayers up and then send back or send energy up and sit back and twiddle your thumbs and wait on life to happen. Like that's when a man has to move in that energy here before he sees it. Like that's the marriage. So it's not just a like manifestation or bringing things to be. It's not just a spiritual process. It's both the spiritual and a physical process. Like when the Kundalini say as above, so below, they aren't saying as above so that it can be below. They're saying as you thinking above, you got to be moving that way below. So it's a two-part process that, and just as much as I do in the Bible Belt, we don't really go in on that. A lot of times we just put it up in the air and just like we wait on it to rain down on us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, instead of saying, okay, let me match that energy down here. Let me walk in that. That's when things happen, bro. So yeah, man. Yeah, I think that heart and mind should be a marriage with each other. And I know Brother P. Taylor, man, he uses the word harmony a lot, man. So yeah, I think there has to be harmony between the two. I just think that, and I don't like, religion, knowledge is knowledge, but I think there are a lot of people that kind of like the Kabbalion. Me and Brother P. Taylor were talking about the Kabbalion earlier. He's the one that him and another brother, my brother Derek out of Florida, is what put me on the Kabbalion. But I just think there's a lot of, I'll say this: the Kabbalion, it referred to a group of people as half truthers, and I think the far majority of religious people, spiritual people, are really half truthers, meaning they understand the spiritual part of things, but they don't feel like they have to do the work.
No way.
And we'll say it every Sunday: faith without works is dead. But it's like nobody really understands that, because some people will sit there and pray, quote unquote, pray for years and have no action. They're just wanting something to happen. But I'll say this: that whole half truther term goes both ways, because you have some people that don't really connect to the spiritual side, but on the physical side, they're go-getters. I mean, they're making things happen. They're creating their life. They're having big wins, but they don't have peace. Like they're winning physically, they're winning, but they're miserable. They're still scratching for that itch of fulfillment, so they have to get more, have to get more women, have to get more, because they're half truthers as well. So it's about balance. So going back to what you said, man, how do you get that you listen to the mind or the heart? It's like you listen to the self and bring both of those into one agreement. And like the Bible says, when two come together, like God shows up, man. It shows up.
Tracking. Understood.
Yeah.
Appreciate
it. Man, appreciate that, brother. So I guess we lost Brother Taylor, man. But he might be out for good. I know he had a storm coming right before we came on, and that was kind of a lot of the issues. We started 20 minutes late, man, because we were trying to fix some technical issues in and out with this internet and all that stuff. But if anybody wants to come on and ask another question, let me see if I can copy this. And I'll just put it right here. I'll just put the where's it at? I'll just put the link in the box. Anybody want to come on and chime about anything, bro? Let me see. Copy this. Put this link in the box. And also, brothers, anybody that so we have a new community started. It's called Planet 9 Society, man. And we're having a open house, virtual open house tomorrow. It's kind of like a power circle type setup, but it's co-ed, right? Tomorrow the event is free, man. We're gonna be talking about like it's easy to find someone and be attracted to them, man. But is that really the person you should be with? Like when you talk about relationships, man, that there's much more than she's fine. She keep her hair did and her nails did, and she got a big dump, or there's more to, oh, he got a bag, he making 6 figures, he's 6'9", he got a 6-pack. There's more to it, because a lot of times we can get with people that fit that description, but the whole scenario is still screwed up because we can't really build from that. So yeah, that's a conversation we're having tomorrow. Seats are limited, man. Make sure you if you go back to the top of the chat, that's one of the first posts I made. And if not, just go to Planet 9 Society.com. Scroll down a little bit, man. You'll be able to register for that event tomorrow. It's going to be some great conversation, one of many. But yeah, I put the link down there, man, to jump on the chat, brother. If anybody wants to chime in, man, and just have some quick God talk, bring up a situation, bring up a any kind of topics, bro. Let's go from that, man. And if not, we'll just end it, brothers. I think it's been some good conversation. We've already gone over an hour. Brother P. Taylor, man, for y'all that aren't familiar with Brother Phil Taylor, definitely check out his YouTube and Instagram, which it's alchemistic _gold mine 88. The brother is just a wealth of knowledge, man. When you want to talk about when you're talking about books and just certain pieces of knowledge. Oh, I see you came back, brother Demetrius. Do you have some more you want to add, bro?
Oh, sorry about that, brother. I chimed out. No, man, that was good there for me, man. Like I said, right now I'm still on my journey, man. I'm just trying to do some inner work as it is right now. That's the main thing that's been on my mind. Just trying to get that home.
When you say inner work, what is that inner work? What does that mean exactly, brother?
Brother, man, I just discovered, through you and hearing some other brothers on YouTube too, about meditation. I always thought of meditation. I'm a military veteran, so I had done some stuff through Afghanistan and whatnot. And the way they would tell me about meditation was, hey, just do some breath work and kind of calm yourself down. I didn't know that it was a tool that you could go and work on yourself and actually identify stuff that has happened to you, and to actually go about trying to manifest things for yourself as well.
Meditation is a heavy topic, man. And I think, and to be honest, just saying the word meditation, to be honest, I think, even just saying that word, a lot of people hear that word and think, like you said, breath work and Zen out and all that stuff. And to be honest, that's really what meditation is. But I think, over the last 15, 20, I think over the last at least 10 years, I think when most people are saying that word now, they're really talking about visualization / creating the world. Because I'll use the word meditation, but I really don't meditate because to me, meditation is to find that peace, that Zen. But once you connect to that Zen, I'm glad Jerry chimed in. Perfect. And I was going to ask you to chime in, Jerry, but I didn't know if you were busy, man. Jerry is a brother, man, that talks heavy when it comes to manifestation and creation. But like I was saying, Brother D, I think a lot of people use that word and are explaining their visualization / creation process. So what do you say about that whole creation and meditation thing, Jerry? Good to see your face too, brother. Can you hear me? Oh, let me see if you mute. Oh, you muted, bro. You muted. I got you.
I think I was hooked up to the wrong device. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So we were talking about but can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we were just talking about meditation, and Brother Demetrius was saying, he's doing the inner work. He's really just now tapping into that part. And I was saying that, like, a lot of people will use that word meditation, and some people just think it as, Zen and seeing colors. But a lot of people use that word and they're talking about the visualization / creation process. So what? Oh, dang, we lost him.
I think so.
You got to go, bro?
No, you good, brother.
Okay. So yeah, I'll give you my 2 cents on it then, man. Mm-hmm. As far as the creation process, because I think a lot of people use that word meditation without really understanding, like in the word you said, the inner workings of what's taking place. Because meditation is really just an elixir. A lot of people think meditation is the end goal. A lot of people think meditation is the end goal, where really meditation is just the elixir. It's the creation process, but it's not the fulfillment. It's the creation process, but it has to be fulfilled. So it goes back to what I was saying earlier, when a lot of people, say, well, let me send my prayers up to heaven and just twiddle my thumbs and wait on the good Lord to bestow blessings on me. Like, they're only doing half the process. You know what I'm saying? So, and I want to get Jerry's take, man. Jerry dives into meditation heavy on a regular basis. But what's your take on the whole manifestation / meditation process, Jerry?
Well, I mean, yeah, you're completely right about sending it up, but then actually seeing it in action down here. I like to simplify things, so a lot of times for me, when it comes to manifesting things, I like to look at it as whatever it is that I'm doing out here, I'm witnessing the unfolding of what it is that I've already seen within myself. So there's no there when you travel across the bridge of infinite, the adventure, if you will, you're going to do a bunch of things like brush your teeth, or you know eat dinner, or go out on a date, or you know build a system, or you're going to do a bunch of things. These things are going to happen. They're like, you might as well just accept it, right? These are just actions when you really just think about it. So when you send it up, you're like, okay, I'm doing that, and then it's just thank you, Father, and then you take a step. I'm not certain. I'm not a strategist. If you know me, you know I'm not a strategist, but I do recognize that there is a strategy at play, and it's his strategy. So if you can just follow your intuition or the heart, you'll feel exactly where it is to go, what it is that you need to say, who it is that you need to be in order to traverse the bridge of incident. Because the acorn implies the oak tree. I, Jerry, don't know how that acorn becomes the oak tree. I have no clue. Right? But neither does the acorn. And so, or I shouldn't say but, and neither does the acorn. So all the acorn needs to do is just do as an acorn does. And at some point, the acorn is an oak tree. When you started learning how to drive a car, Demetrius, correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't know anything about driving.
Not a clue, brother.
Not a clue, right? But you knew you were going to drive, right? You weren't certain. Sure, you knew you had to probably take the test. You probably had to like learn, ride around with your pops or your mom or whatever, right? And you were just something, right? You were nervous. It was awkward, right? I have a question for you, Demetrius. Do you know exactly the point when you were just like, yeah, I know how to drive a car? Or was it just one day you were driving their car
just one day driving, brother, and it just came to me like, okay, I guess this is how it is, you know?
Right. And that's how every quantum leap is. Every single one. Everyone's had this experience. It's not, we're not doing magic. And you can find it in the simplest things. It's like if you've ever seen a kid learn how to ride a bicycle, it's like it is what it is, right? And you're starting a business, you're starting a new relationship, you're starting a new relationship with yourself, even. You know, that can be awkward, right? Trying on a new wardrobe or a new style. You know, taking a leap of faith and saying, I'm going to go and do this new activity, whatever it is. We do it all the time. We do it all the time.
Facts,
so
man.
When you send it up and be grateful for that, what you asked for. And then when you come down here, just go do the dishes. You know what I mean?
You know, what Dane say? So the external aspects of life are really replay conditions formed in the mind. Facts. You know, it's really when you think about the manifestation process, it's really 4 steps, man. Like a man has to understand it's compartmentalized. Like it starts, like everything starts as an idea. It starts as an idea, right? It's just, you know, you at work one day and you say, oh man, like shoot, I could, you know, it'd be nice if I had me a CDL and bought me a truck or bought me a 48-foot flatbed. Like it's an idea. And most people, well, let me say this. Most people's idea, they're calling it vision, but it's not vision. It's just an idea. Like for it to be vision, which is the next step, which is thought. Like idea and thought isn't the same thing. It goes from just the kind of just hovering around to thought, which is now it's like, now I'm getting ready to, like, I'm about to go sit in my truck at lunch and really just think about this. Like, let me insert myself in that idea. So then it becomes thought. So now it's becoming a man's vision. And like I'm saying, like a lot of men are trying to move and play, you know, call plays and do certain things, start businesses, and they're just taking an idea and kind of simulating what everybody else is doing and skipping the whole process. They're skipping the thought or the vision. So once a man has a vision, he's pouring life into it. It's like a serious thought. In other words, he can close his eyes and actually go to that space. Now it's vision. He's putting life force in it. From vision is when you go to meditation. So you take that same you've inserted yourself into that idea and have a thought. Now you're experiencing that. Now in your meditation, you're like, you know what? Let me live in this world. Let me drive this truck. Let me open this business in my world. And I'm gonna tell you, man, it feels good when you get to that stage, because like when I talk about I'll sit in that chair. Sometimes I'll still do it. I'll sit in that chair for an hour. Sometimes over the course of a day, 3 hours, I'm sitting there and I'm meditating. But what I'm doing is I'm not just sitting there having, you know, I'm not sitting there frolicking through some garden of, I'm actually living in another world. Just like kind of like what Jerry said, like I'm come here and I'll cook and watch TV and call your girl. I'm doing that over there. And I'll be honest, man, when I do that for so many days, it'll get to the point where it starts off like this. I'll come out of that meditation and I'll look around. I say, bro, it feels so good over there. Let me reset that timer for another 5 minutes and just get lost. Like, I don't want to come back. Right. But then you got to understand this. That's still just meditation. Meditation is still not the fulfillment. Like when you're meditating, of course, when you get out that chair, it's all about matching frequencies. The objective is to match frequencies. But this is the thing that took me a long time to learn. I would meditate for so many days, and then after maybe a week, sometimes a few days, I would say, you know what, man, I'm getting off track because I don't want to meditate as much. You got to understand that meditation is only a stepping stone, because the 4th step is walking in your I am. When you're walking in your I am, there's no need to meditate anymore. You're meditating in real time now. That's the whole point of the meditation. That just so you can master that frequency. But when you can come out of that meditation and there's no difference, now you're praying. That's what praying is. Now you've gone into a state, and like the Bible said, you never come out of that state. Now you've matched frequencies. Now your heaven and earth are going to be the same. So that's the process. But a lot of people get stuck in the idea or the thought. Sometimes it's like, no, it's like when the Kundalini talked about as above, so below. It wasn't to do something as above so the below can come and see you. It was to do that above and do that below. Like you have to do both. So going back to that same question, do I listen to my mind or do I listen to my heart? It's like, no, put them in alignment. Make them one channel. Make them one singular truth. You know what I'm saying? And man, life happens, bro. Like when a man understands that, he can write his own script. He can write his own script, man. So yeah, man. Hold on, bring Brother Roger going. What's going on, Brother Roger? What say you, brother?
What's going on, fellas? Man, it's a pleasure to be on with you guys, man. Especially you, Soul, man. Been keeping up with your work and your content for a good little while, man. And I really, you kind of revealed and answered a lot of questions that I didn't really understand. You know what I mean? As I was, going through life. I'm sitting here listening to everything. Y'all pretty much said everything, but I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, what can I add to the conversation? But I guess the best way I can kind of do that, I kind of came on a little late. The older gentleman was on, and he was talking about when he was younger. And that sparked something in me because, I come from a particular background myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes, you have people who like point. I had this experience of I didn't feel like I supposed to be in my situation type of feeling. You know what I mean? People, oh, you ain't gonna be this, be that, right? So coming from that particular, starting point, you know what I mean? And but I never believed it though. You know what I'm saying? Like I always had this feeling like, yo, I can do more. You know what I'm saying? Like I always hungered for that journey. I don't know. I call it God. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was going through those certain things when I was younger, I didn't really know the Bible like that, but I used to always pray to God. You feel me? Like, so I just be like, just whatever I, going through.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, man. I played ball, did my thing, but college, right? I went to college. But that wasn't necessarily in the plan because I said, well, if I don't get no scholarship, I ain't going. So, boom, I didn't get no scholarship, landed a good job, or whatever the case may be. Mom didn't want me to go. Just weird how things was happening, man. But I didn't know everything you talk about explains what's going on. But I didn't know what was going on. You see what I'm saying? I'm just kind of moving. I'm going. You know what I'm saying? But it might just be that prayer that I was, out there, you know what I'm saying, in my long time. But anyway, to continue the story, so my cousin comes down and like, dude, you need to go to college, da-da-da. Mom dude saying, nah. So, I went to my boss, man. He said, listen to the person that got the most success. My cousin did at the time. Man, I ain't had nothing planned, man. I went to college. Man, I packed my stuff up. All my stuff was in a trash bag, yo. You feel me? That's how I started my journey to college.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which was interesting. I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I was, college necessarily material, like being planned and groomed for that. Okay, boom. I get there. I'm lost as hell. But I'm running into people, though. I'm running into good people for some reason, because there was a lot of people that come from my particular situation, and them cats, they didn't make it the first semester. You know what I'm saying? But so happened, God was just sending people my way, right? And boom, it's like, I get to a point, I'm like, yo, okay, man, what's going on, bro? I'm broke, I ain't got no money. Next thing you know, God sends something else. Military opportunity. I ain't know nothing about no military. Nobody, you know what I'm saying, ever thought to be about it. But it's funny though, that resistance. Oh my partner, you gonna join that white man military? Da 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 da. I'm like, dude, I'm broke. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know what's going on. I'm scared, but I'm gonna
so let me ask you a question about that right there, and you get to another point that you were saying earlier. I want to ask you. Well, first I want to say this, because what you were saying about your moms, that's the same thing that Pete Taylor was saying earlier. And I, and this is the thing, man. I think a lot of people in our life, I think out of love, they'll try to talk us out of certain things because now we're talking about going somewhere that's outside of their scope. Like when you talking about going out to college, if moms or dad or uncle or anybody hadn't been to college, it might be a scary thing. Like, no, baby, you don't want to do that. Or if you're talking about quitting a job, in your family, nobody's ever been an entrepreneur. You say that, they're like, no, 401k and health insurance. No, you don't want to do that. So I think one thing is you have to be really careful about sharing it. But what I want to ask you is, what do you think that thing is inside of a person? Because I don't think everybody demonstrates this. That thing that made you say, okay, I'm in a certain situation. This is the norm. This is where everybody is. But I'm going to go outside of that. Kind of like you talked about going to college, and now you're talking about when you went to the military. If you went military, but everybody doesn't have that. Like, what do you think that it is inside of a man? What trait, what attribute that separates from people? From other men that don't have the gonads to call those kind of plays.
So, I don't know, man. I think I've been asked, like, I've been, especially getting into your country, because now I'm more aware about what these things are and how these things kind of operate, going on in the background, subconscious, whatever. It's a godly thing, in my opinion. But I would love, well, let me say this first. I agree with the older gentleman earlier about it's coming from love when it's coming from, like, especially somebody like your mom, you know what I'm saying, telling you not. And I didn't realize that at first, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily, but listen to she was just scared, and all that. I'm just going in agreements with you as far as, that particular thing. Now, you do got haters, though, because sometimes some people, especially peers, because sometimes you got to be careful with them, because sometimes they don't want you to do it because they scared you might do it and actually make it. You see what I'm saying? So having discernment with that is key. But anyway, past that, going to what you was just talking about, that thing, man, that's a good question. Because it'd be like, because I sit back, sometimes I be looking at people and they have a way better situation than I have. They got all the tools, they got everything. And I'm like, dude, what you waiting on? Shit, I'm coming out with sticks and stones trying to figure it out. You got the whole layout. What you waiting on?
What do y'all think it is, brother D or brother Human? What do y'all think that thing is inside of a man that makes him say, okay, you know what? I see the ceiling because everybody else's ceiling is here, but I'm going to go outside of the gun line in the darkness and take a risk. Because I'm not understanding now. Every man doesn't have that, or every man has it, but a lot of men aren't willing to put the gonads on the table. And to me now, when I encounter a man that doesn't have that, it's weird to me. It's like to be honest, it's not even a whole lot we can talk about because we're speaking two different languages. Like every time I'm talking about everything I'm talking about is talking about going outside that next level, staying outside the comfort zone.
I'm gonna say this. Yeah. This just came to my heart real quick. Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of those things not yet seen. Do you got that faith of a mustard seed? You feel me? Like, that's key. You know what I mean? Like, are you willing, that bravery? You know what I mean? I don't know. I come from a pretty tough background, and I had to survive a lot of things early on and overcome a lot of things early. So it's kind of natural for me to be like a jumper. Like, bro, it is what it is. Jay-Z said, ask your knuckles back against the wall. You know what I'm saying? So it's that type of thing. I don't know. But anyway, that's my little piece right there.
What do y'all say it is, Brother Jared? Brother Human, Brother Demetrius? Y'all have any input on that?
Well, yeah. A lot of problems, a lot of solutions to problems are actually very simple if you can just keep it simple. And so it's like, if you can understand that, like, all barriers are imaginary, if you can just understand that, you can break through any limit right now. So you can have this story that all your family members were like this, that, and the other, and your desire is that you're able to break through that limit that your family has had. You can right now choose to break through it. Be like, wait a minute, I am not telling this story anymore. Done. Now walk in faith that that is true. You've broken through.
Yeah.
And so if you're finding yourself not seeing that in the world, it's only because you're not holding on to that in consciousness. You need to every day start seeing the truth, which is that's not even a boundary to me. I don't even consider, like,
Yeah.
I remember when that was a boundary, but now it's not.
Yeah.
I remember a time when that was a boundary. And I'm just going to assume right now that that boundary doesn't even exist. It's not even an issue to me. It used to be an issue, but right now, because that's all we have, that's all we have.
Facts.
And we get so we attach so deeply to the story. I'm guilty, you know. We attach so deeply to that story. That's who I am. I came through this. I went through that. And then we talk about how everybody else has this limit. And then, like, that's what they taught me. And like, okay, great. But what about right now? When we talk about this inner work, any inner work, it's always happening right now.
Facts. Facts. What do you think? What do you think, Brother Demetrius? What do you think that thing is in a man?
Brother, man, it's funny that comes up because last night I just found a video that you had out about jumpers and about jumpers, brother. And I think that goes back to what Brother Roger was saying. I think that's another thing that helps. And I've got about like 2 solid brothers that's in my life that's been helping me with this, because I'm going through a situation right now, and I've been able to reinvent my life in the last, I don't know, like 3 weeks. I've been going through some stuff, and man, I've just been consuming content and doing this inner work and things of that nature. But I have these other 2 jumpers, as you call them, man, and they've just been like like the front runners for me, man. Like, cause I'm watching them jump and do things while they're also going through something. It's like, man, okay, this situation really isn't that bad. And it goes back to what Brother Human Imagination just said. It's that barrier. You know what I'm saying? Like they have, like, watching. I guess what I'm getting at is kind of like watching these 2 brothers do their thing in the midst of what they're going through and what I'm going through. It makes me kind of like, man, this is nothing. Like, this is child's play, really. Like, these brothers are already just continually, doing what they're doing in spite of whatever's going on. So, in going into your question, I think it goes to your circle, who you have around you, who you're watching, exposed to, especially when you're in a time of healing or even just trying to identify things. I think that, and you said earlier too, it's about whenever a man's going through a journey, like, you have to pull back and you have to stay away from certain people. But sometimes if you can identify those people that are the jumpers in your life and the people that you I guess could kind of aspire to be like, or that are going somewhere, you can kind of go off of that, and y'all match that same frequency. I've been learning a lot about frequencies too, and
Everything.
frequencies, brother. Yeah,
Everything.
So I'll go into a little bit of my story. So me and my ex-girlfriend, she's actually the one that got me into all of this. And it ended, but I'm learning so much from the way the relationship was in the beginning, and then some of the things that have been said going from that. So I frequency, and like I said, I went into the meditation earlier before, but those low vibrational people and those high vibrational people, that's the thing, brother. Because like I said, I've learned so much from these other 2 gentlemen, and I just kind of, they're older guys too, and I kind of, I would talk to them in passing, but as I've been going through my journey, I'm noticing, and I'm kind of honed in on these 2 brothers. I'm like, man, this is beautiful. This is what I really need. And then even being in the power circle too, like, and being able to be on calls like this, it helps because it's like-minded individuals. So I think that's what helps a lot of men out, and that's what kind of helps you make that jump in certain areas in life.
I like that answer, bro. I love that answer, man. And what I would say, man, the answer to the thing inside of a man that makes him, cross that threshold is and I gotta chime in with brother LaFavor said, man, be willing to dare, because that's why I was going with it. Shout out to Brother LaFavor, man. definitely a prominent beacon in the power circle, man, down in Florida, making big moves, changing lives, impacting people, coaching team. Shout out to that brother. Very, very, very powerful man. But what I would say is, like I always try. I think it's always been something to me. I don't know what it is. That's in a lot of men that see what everybody else is doing and want to go against the grain. But for me, the thing that changed everything, man, going to what Brother LaFavor said when he said willing to dare, it's the quote from Charles Hannell's work. And I say it all the time in Master Key System. When he said, in order for a man to move forward, in other words, to leave the pack where everybody else is, a man must have knowledge of his power. He must have the courage to dare and the faith to do. And when you think about it, very few men have that complete recipe because Hannell said it takes all three. Before he even went into it, he said, you got to know that if you don't have all three of these, you can't move forward. So a man must have knowledge of his power, the courage to dare. That's the deciding factor right there. Most men won't dare. And when it comes down to dare is simply just, for a lot of people, having the courage to think outside the lines. Kind of like when Brother Rogic said, Brother Rogic was saying, and Brother P. Taylor, when he was saying, hey, man, my mother was like, hey, don't go there. Some people, a lot of our parents and grandparents won't even allow their minds to go over that hump. A lot of men that are on the assembly line for 35 years won't even allow their mind to go outside the four walls of that business and say, you know what? What if I did start my own cleaning company? So the courage to dare is just, taking it from idea to thought. You know what I'm saying? Then the faith to do is kind of self-explanatory. Having the faith to do, man, is saying, you know what? I'm willing to take an L behind this. I have enough. I know my power. I got the balls to do it. Now I'm willing to stand on this thing now, man. I think when a man puts those three things together, bro, who can stop him? Who can stop him, man? Did we lose brother P. Taylor again? Dang, he came in. So yeah, there he is. Yeah. You back, brother Taylor? Good to see you. Good to see you back. I wasn't sure if you were gonna make it.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. Y'all have any questions for brother P. Taylor, man? Because we're gonna start wrapping it down. I do want to ask him some of the questions I always ask.
I'd love to ask a question. Is that all right?
Yes, sir. As long as he's willing to answer.
So, Phil, so the knowing your power, having the courage, and then what's the third one, Soul?
The faith to do.
Standing on that. I'm forgetting the three right now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, it was knowledge of power, knowledge of your power, the courage to dare, and the faith to do was the third one.
So the faith to do. So P. Taylor, for me, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I have definitely been feeling this push to be, something completely different. And it's just, this conversation is so perfect because it's like I'm about to give birth to something. And and I'm like, man, and then I'm on this call, man. Soul, I haven't talked to you in forever.
It's been a minute,
bro. You just happen to
funny.
pop
I was
up on
gonna
the
call
feed.
you. I saw your number the other day on the phone. I'm like, damn, I need to call him. That's what I was thinking. That's funny.
Yeah.
I was gonna call you, but there it is.
So yeah, all this seems to just be in line. So P. Taylor, when it comes to standing on faith, right? Like, man, I'm talking about simplest way, simplest experience you've ever had of just being like, I'm standing on faith in this thing. Because that's where I feel like I'm at right now, where I'm just like, okay, there's something here. I know what it is. I'm not speaking it, but I know what it is. I do have the courage to act upon it, but it's like the faith. It's like there's this underlying fear of like, I'll die or something, which I'm not even afraid of. I guess I am, but how do you do that? How do you do that?
Hmm. Well, I think a lot of times we as men are pressured to be successful, and you have to understand that you might fail, but an L is not the season. Okay, so if you get an L, that doesn't mean it's the season. Um, you can get a few L's and not the season, but what uh, it's almost you have to trust the universe. Now I know that you deal with Neville, right? And you did something with Renee, right? And I'm dealing with this trans-serving right now as well. And I'm telling you that when it's like an old cliche, but when you put something out there, then the all God, whatever you want to call it, will put the rest of it out there. You know what I mean? You have to know in your heart that this is the right move. You know when it's the right move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know when something is the right move. You know it, and you just move on it. I guess that takes courage. And one of the things you can do is look at the times in your life when you did the exact same thing. When you
This one feel
moved on
this one
something.
feels this one feels I mean, you're right, but man, this one feels like completely it's big and unknown and just like what? Yet at the same time, it's something that's been there since forever, and
Okay,
it's just
give me three
is
reasons.
that
Give me so let's talk to your mind for a minute because that's your mind in the way. Give me three
okay?
reasons why you think it will work.
Why I
Give me
think it
three
will work?
reasons. Yeah.
I
What are
have
the
I
three
have the
reasons why it will work?
I have the talent.
Yeah.
Um, um, well, I have the talent. I also have the skills.
Yeah.
Um, and to quote Saturday Night Live, people like me. So, uh,
Okay.
but
Well, that's good.
yeah.
But you know what? Be honest with you, it really doesn't matter. That's for your
Hmm.
mind. Your heart, right? I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody thinks that we got forever, but you don't.
Mm,
Um, I did something on that. I did a post on that, and I was almost scared to do it because I didn't think people would react to it very, very positively. But I talk about death. I'm gonna talk about it again. And you in this game, you got a time limit. You either
right.
do or you don't. And
Mm,
like when that thing came up with the school, that was death looking me in the face. You're going to do it now and jump or never do it. And
mm,
the universe will look at you and tell you that you have a time limit, you have an expiration date. And what are you going to do? If you do fall on your face, then you fall on your face. You know, as long as you can keep it together enough so that nobody gets hurt. You got a little bit of parachute because I know you have family, you have children and stuff, right? Me, I ain't had no family or children, so I just fall down, I just get up. But as long as you can protect people a little bit and uh, go for it because this is your life. You gotta, you can't sit up in the stands and play ball. You got to come out of the court and play ball if you want to play. You
right.
know, and
Right.
and it's gonna be you that make you get on the court. Ain't nobody gonna drag you on the court. You're gonna have to get on the court and do it. And in your heart, if you really go and sit with yourself and really, I'm talking about really sit with yourself, Jerry, and sit with yourself, this is the right thing to do. Ain't nobody gonna be able to tell you that. I can't tell you, but you really have to sit down and dig down deep yourself, and it won't be so hard to find it. It'll be obvious.
It's right
You
there.
know what's the
I
right
mean,
thing to do. Right, because your mind, I told you, your mind can only see as far as I can look out this window. This only can see that far. But your heart can see into eternity, my brother.
Right.
Your heart can see into eternity. Your heart and your soul know more than your mind. Your mind is only know what it's been taught. And if you've been taught, Jerry can't do this because he don't have enough money, he ain't smart enough, he ain't talented enough, blah, 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 then you're going to follow that. No, because the heart can see things that coming down the road. If you are developed enough and you're open enough and you're connected enough, you'll see stuff coming to you. There'll be something off the radar screen. Like I keep quoting Kevin Trudeau, because I'm gonna give him his props on that. He said, your mind is like a radar screen, and it is. All you can see was on the radar screen, but there's an infinity. There's infinity beyond that radar screen. There's infinity. There are things that are going on right now. Okay, like transurfing, they talk about the alternative space, right? The thing that you want is in the alternative space. It's already there. It's already been created. You're not creating. That's another thing about manifestation.
Yeah, we're just
I don't believe we don't create anything. It's already in that space. So it's up to you to make the choice to get that thing, right? Or it comes to you. It's already there. And because of the fact you have the desire to acquire that thing, it's already yours. You just have to walk up and claim it.
It's like going to the mailbox.
You ain't even got to do that. Right, going to the mailbox, just, the dude may even drop Amazon package at your door. You ain't even got to do this. You just got to open the door and pick it up. Right. Because if you have a strong desire for something, that means something. That means that that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, you're right.
Desire is the heart.
Yeah.
Right?
Understood.
The mind can only know what it knows, but the heart really knows. Like, like, for instance, if you're doing a business deal with somebody, right, and you walk on the door, you look at that person, you ain't got to even open his mouth. You know. You're right. And there's another thing too. I have read Think and Grow Rich and a lot of books, and I found this out. A lot of CEOs will tell you that they don't plan. They have their assistants and secretaries plan, but what they do is they go off the gut. I know Think and Grow Rich, they talk about that thing, was going off the gut, man. Your gut knows where your gut, which is your heart. Your gut is another brain, actually. You know that, right? The solar plexus is actually a second brain, right? But you know in your gut whether it's the right move or not. It's nothing in the world that wild horses couldn't drag you away from doing what you need to do. Right. You know it. You know what I'm saying?
I got it. I got it.
That third part, bro. That faith part, that standing on faith part. I found that the best way to I won't say master that part, but the best way to tackle that part is just to live your life where you have no choice but to stand on faith. Like I'm gonna tell you, like the way I live my life, brother, is to be honest, to 90% of people, 95 is pure reckless. Like I live my life reckless. Like I don't feel comfortable if my life isn't like, if God don't show up, I'm gonna fail. Because when I'm not in that energy, I don't feel like I'm living hard enough. I don't think I'm building enough. I like living where it's like, man, I'm on the edge where the only way I can survive, like the only way this is going to work is if God shows up. So it's like I think a lot of times it's us as human beings, like we'll stand on the beach when we really want to walk on water. But the only way you can walk on water is going out there and putting yourself in a position where if God ain't God, you're going to lose. In my mind, I'm like, if God ain't God, I don't want to be here no way. You know what I'm saying? So I put myself in that situation where it's like, if it don't win, if it don't pan out like I'll trust the process. And if it don't pan out and I lose, I want to lose. I want to lose. Like I don't even want to play the game no more if the rules aren't the rules. So just put yourself on the water, man. And it's like, kind of like in the Bible when was it Peter or somebody got off the boat and Jesus said, hey, come on and do this thing that you can do. And Peter said, hey, like I didn't know I could walk on water until I walked on it. So man, it's like, and now maybe that's not an overnight thing, but brother, like put yourself in a position where you will take that L if God don't show up. because that's what's gonna build rapport. Like I trust God with everything now, bro. I'll roll the dice. I'll put my whole life savings on an idea. If I go through the process, I trust the process. Because I'm like, if it don't pan out, then that thing I'm calling God isn't what it says it is. You know what I'm saying? I put the weight on it. And it's like, man, life happens when you do that, man. So I would say put yourself in line.
Yeah, y'all are good. Thank you.
Yeah, at least one more thing I want to say. Like Soul was talking about walking on the water. What people the hermetic metaphysical definition of water is your emotions. So when you're walking on water, you have mastered your emotion, an emotion of fear. The Peter had the emotion of fear because of the storms, and he didn't know whether there was, animals that would, like fish would eat him and all this other kind of stuff, right? But the water is your fear, it's your heart, it's your emotion, and when you come in alignment with it, that's when you walk on it.
Facts. That's everything right there. That right there, P. Taylor, is everything. That emotional state of a man, if he can master that emotional state, it's over. Yes, even Neville said when a man masters that state, he can prophesy his own life. That lets you know how, so yeah, man, that's a nugget right there, Brother P. Taylor. Nugget.
That's it. I needed this, y'all. I don't even think y'all understand, man.
And it's funny because you're on here, and it's funny. I swear to you, man. I saw your number in the phone, and I'm like, you know what? I got a break. I need to call Jerry. I swear to you. Some told me to call you, and I just didn't get around to it. But I'm telling you, I was moved to call you. I don't know why. I haven't called you. We haven't talked since the beginning of the pandemic, have we? We haven't.
Yeah, man.
Some told me to call you.
You said a pandemic?
No.
Something like that.
Dang.
We talked. When did we last time we talked, Jerry? Because I called you, right? It's been a while, man.
It's been about It's probably been 2 years. Which is a long time when I think about it.
It was a long time, yeah. Because I seen you in passing. I seen you doing your thing. You know what I mean? I seen your YouTube and all this kind of stuff, and your Instagram, which is banging or whatever. I seen you doing your thing, right? But we just never connected. And I was looking for you on the power, so I didn't see you, right? But
it's interesting you bring that up. Y'all were talking about that earlier, about how sometimes you need to go at it solo and really understand what's going on for yourself. Even if you have jumpers in your life, at times you kind of need to just do your own thing and really solve it and come from within, right? And it's just I'm telling y'all, it's fascinating what's been unfolding in the last 3 weeks. I mean, even this conversation, man. I mean, yesterday I went out on a date that I haven't been on. I haven't been on a date with my wife in forever. We go on this date. Baby's due in about a week. All this stuff is on my mind. All this newness that seems to be being birthed and all this stuff. And I'm hanging out at this restaurant with my wife, and we're having a conversation, and I bring up two of my good friends that are also, manifestors, also teachers and things like that. And we're like, all right, cool. We pay and we're walking out of the restaurant. And right there, I mean, they're just standing right there. And they're just like, holy crap. And they're having dinner with two of their friends. And they're just like, we were just talking about you. We were literally just talking about you to these ladies right here. And I'm just like, bro, this is wild for me. This is unbelievable. I mean, and at the same time, earlier that day, my friend said, Jerry, at what point will you stop being surprised? At what point will you actually stop being surprised? And now I'm on this call with y'all, and then Pete Taylor's telling me he's been was thinking about call. At what point do I at what point do I stop being surprised and just enjoy what is unfolding by God's grace? So I'm very grateful to you guys, really. So thank you. Man, good stuff, man.
Well, I want to wrap up, man, and y'all can feel free to stay on if y'all like, man, or chime out. Thank y'all for chiming in and giving the input. But I always ask people that that come on and visit with me, man. I want to ask you two questions, brother P. Taylor, before we close out, man. And the first question is, man, like you've evolved into an amazing brother, man. You impact everybody you come in contact with, man. Like I talked about the impact you had on the circle, the impact you've had on me, the knowledge you. Who would you say is the one person, either alive or passed on, that had the most impact on who you are today and why?
My father. My father was the man that I wish I was. I'm working on it. He didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he didn't do drugs. I've never done any of that either. Any type of drugs. He was honest. He was a hard-working man. He was one of the first Black people to have his own cab company in Washington, D.C. He had gas stations. He was tested mathematical genius. He was brilliant. He was a king, man. That's the definition of a king. He was compassionate. He was soft-spoken, but don't cross him. I very rarely saw him angry about anything. When I was 15, I was smelling myself. I was this star football player, and I talked back to him. He picked me up off the ground. I'm 6'2", 197 pounds. He ain't even that. He's not even that. He picked me up off the ground. Strength, power. And it's funny that you mentioned that, Soul, because it was 30 years ago, the 31st of July, that he passed. And the reason why you're saying that to me, because he's talking through me again. We do something in the temple, and we do something called Toba, and it's a celebration, and it's also giving him energy and giving him whatever he needs. So I'm sending him this energy, and the priests write it out on the scrolls, and we chant, and people, there's stories about people coming in dreams and all kinds of stuff. But that's what I've been led to do, and I haven't done it yet. I just need to put some things in place, because I got to pay some money for this thing. But it and whatever benefits you get six of it, and he gets the seven. There's 7 things that you can get, and you get a benefit, but it's not for me, it's for him. And it's interesting that you would bring that up, and he would, he would be the one anyway that comes to my mind. But it's interesting you would bring that up. Again, we're talking about, you want to call it synchronicity, you want to go on that flow, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's the person that my father and my mother too, because they were a team. My father was the brilliant genius, and my mother had the heart. She was artist and the fashion.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
First Black woman to work with a cosmetic company. Before her, the Black women didn't have the cosmetics, and she developed that and worked in marketing for that. She worked with Liz Taylor. She worked with Eartha Kitt. She knew Eartha Kitt. All of that. She was brilliant. Yeah.
You come from some royalty, man. Your pop sound like he was. It sounds like he was a man that was moving slightly ahead of his time. Like it wasn't a lot of people moving like that. So man,
he was 33rd. He was trying to, I don't know how deep he went, my brother. I don't even know. I'm trying to get his apron, but he was
man, that's
man.
Amazing,
it's
bro.
Like, always had that light, man. Always had the light, man.
And I can see, I mean, man, he left an impact on you, brother, because you move to a different beat. Like just your presence alone, I can see how he had that impact on you now. Just seeing somebody move outside of the box out, I can see why you move the way you move now, man. So hats off to pops and moms, man, for creating for creating the field that we're blessed with today, man. And my last
Hats
question
off to
is,
him.
brother. My last question is, we never know when our last day is coming up on us, man. But if today was Brother Phil's last day, what will be your overall message about life to the planet?
Don't put it off.
Mm.
Do it. Get it done. Don't put it off. And to overall to the planet, I guess as individuals, but it's a game, man. Don't take it so seriously. Don't be greedy. Don't be selfish. And the old saying is, you won't get out of here alive taking it with you. You won't. You know what I mean? If a man's hungry, give him some food. If he needs some, money, give him some money. Look out for people. Look out for each other. Because everybody's going that we know of is either going to do something. You're not going to be in this form forever.
Facts.
It's just, play hard, man. Play the game hard. It's a game, and understand it's a game. Children understand it's a game. They play, they knock each other down, everything, laugh, ha ha ha, and get back up. It's only when they get older they take everything so seriously.
Facts, man. I appreciate that, man.
Have a
We
light
do
heart.
if you have time, do you have time for one more question, bro?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm here, man.
Okay,
I'm
let's
I wasn't
chime
here half
in.
the time.
Brother Yada chimed in. What's going on, brother? Good to see your face, man. Oh, did we lose you, brother?
I think he's on there, but he don't have his mic on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, how you doing, brother?
What's going on, brother?
All right, how you doing, brother?
What's on your mind today, bro?
No, I just jumped on the chat. I saw you had the live on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm just locking in to see what you guys talking about.
Yeah. I put that link on. I said if anybody had any questions for Brother P. Taylor. Yeah, we're just talking about just man, just life in general, man. We talked a little bit about relationships, about just really just us being men living a certain way. And Brother P. Taylor is definitely a man that lives in that lane, lives by example, man. So just wanted to pick his brain today, man, and get some nuggets. And as expected, he delivered, man. So
yeah, what's on your plate, brother? You came on, so what's happening? What can we get from you?
Hold on, because I don't know if it's my sound. I'm trying to put volume up.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
I know, just on my side, you guys sound low. I know you can hear me loud and clear. Hold on.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you, but a little bit.
Okay. It might be my headphones. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Yeah, I can hear you. I just probably have to.
You can hear me.
Some of my phone. What are you saying, brother?
Okay. Now I'm just saying you came on, man. There's a reason. What's on your mind? What's on your thing, man? What's happening with you?
Well, I know Soul been talking about I've been following and listening to last couple of videos. I know he's saying that we have to actually live like having a hard time grasping. Well, I know what my purpose is, but I think is just walking into it and not being afraid of the man that I'm becoming or the man I am. Because I know the Lord put in my heart to be an author, but I'm a little bit hesitant of stepping out and doing what He called me to do. And I know a lot of brothers can't relate. They see the vision, but for some odd reason, they are hesitant or afraid to walk into it.
Yeah. Well, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So have you written anything?
Just journal entries. Journaling, that's why
Then you're author. Then you're an author. Then you're an author. It's not, you don't like people go to school because I want to be a businessman. a lot of times the people that go to the school have already had paper routes. They said that most of the time people that have paper routes are the ones a lot of times successful. I had a paper route. I wasn't great at it, but I learned some things from it, right? I was already kind of like, I majored in business in college, right? So, and my music teacher told me when I left the music department, the new teacher that I had, the jazz teacher, said that was a good move. I'm like, really? He said, yeah, you're gonna need that, and he's right. You know what I'm saying? You're already an author. The only thing is you're not a published author, maybe. I don't know if you're published or not, but that you can take care of that today easy, right? But you already an author. You already putting your thoughts down on paper. You already manifested it already. You just have to keep walking. See, we was talking earlier with earlier is like you have to. We don't have to do anything, but it's you put one foot in front of the other and continue in your journey, right? Nobody's saying for you to quit your whatever you're doing now. Nobody's telling you to, jump out the airplane fully, but the journey has to be one foot in front of the other. And then when it's time for you to jump out the airplane, you'll be able to jump out of it. But nobody's gonna have you jump out now. Not necessarily. Maybe it's not time now. Like I was telling Brother Soul, when I went to school, I wanted to go to school. I really couldn't play that well. I had to go and play clubs. I had to go. I was in a band that had a record deal. You know what I'm saying? We opened for some of the major, acts in the 90s. I had to go through this. I had to go through that. I had to study with some teachers. I had to be prepared for it to jump out the plane, and that's where the courage that Jerry was talking about. That having knowing that you have the ability, right? So the way you become an author, and I've read this, is to write. How much do you write? Do you write every day?
Not every day.
Then you need to be writing every day. I'm gonna tell you what to do, my brother, but that's what you do if you want to be. I was reading that too. I'm a songwriter. I need to get on my butt and get and write more songs, right? I'm just teaching and doing other stuff, playing and doing other stuff. But yeah, the way you become an author is you become an author. You write. Mm-hmm. And in your writing, you create the space that the opportunity will lend itself. So maybe you will get picked up by a publisher. Maybe you will have, the situation where you can place some of your writings, on a platform that can be read by the world. But you have to have things that you've written. And the way you become an author is to create. You are a creator. And so I bring a point. You asked about purposes and all that. The thing that a man has to do, and not just a man, ladies well, but as a man thing, is create. That's why we're here. Mm-hmm. We are here to create. And the woman's place, or the not all the time, but I'm not being sexist here, but mm-hmm. is to nurture the creation. You understand? So you create, and you just get like I'm trying to think who the writer is. I mean, you can go down the list. Stephen King, man, he had a typewriter. He'd get up 6 o'clock in the morning every morning and knock a page or two out, knock a page out. And the way you become an author and you become great is you do it every day. When I get up in the morning, I did this for years. I played a B-flat blues every morning. Every morning. I read Picasso when he get up in the morning. He used to get up and do his practice his cello. And they said, if you had one thing to do, it was your last thing to do, what would you do? He said, I get up and practice. So it is not a fact of you saying I'm becoming an author. You say I am an author, but I am an author in embryo and seed.
Hey, I want to
that attitude. That's what go there.
I want to piggyback off what Brother P Taylor said, Brother Yada, because what he said has so much weight, man. And I'm gonna tell you, just to piggyback off what he said, really just to co-sign what he said. I was writing a book for 2 years, and I couldn't get no further than 1 page deep for 2 years. And once I did what Brother Taylor said, once I sit still and say, you know what, I have to become an author. And once I say, you know what, I am an author, I wrote that book, man, in probably 60 or 70 days when I've been trying for 2 years. So it's exactly what he said. Like, you have to Be that. In other words, you have to write the book on the other side. Like you have to write the book.
That's it.
You have to write the book from the place of already have written it. You know what I'm saying? Like the book is already written inside. It's complete. So you got to go to that end goal and rest in that, rest in that place and write it from there. Write it as if you're rewriting it, because you're already an author. But until you, and it's crazy that Brother Phil said that, because I told one of my best friends that same thing. He said, "Man, what took so long?" I said, "But I had to become an author first." So it's a switch. And when you hit that switch, man, you're gonna go to sleep every night. You won't be able to wait to wake up. I was getting up at 3 a.m, man, but I've been trying for years. So it's what Brother P. Taylor just said. It's becoming. Once you become an author, that book is gonna fly out. It's gonna fly out, man. So you have to conduct yourself as if, like, you have to move as if. Somebody asks you who you are, that's who you are. I'm an author, and be that, embody that. That book gonna fly to you, bro. I promise.
And on the other side of what he said, I'm piggybacking off of what he said. He talked about on the other side. You know what he means by the other side. See, when you look out into life, and I wanted to say this, so we talk about manifesting, I forgot to mention this. When you look out into life, you're looking at a mirror. You're looking at the past, okay? When you look out, and the reason why I'm gonna scientifically prove this. If I look at a star, did you know that star is in the past? The light you're seeing is millions and millions of years old. So it's already manifest. So everything is light. So it's all coming at you. That's the past. And the reason why it's the past, because somebody already looked out at and created that car. So it manifested. Somebody already looked out and created that house. It's manifested. But what you manifest inside of here, on the other side of the mirror, this is what they call, what do they call this? They call it, I forget, it's surfing. They have an idea for, but it's what you manifest on the inside of here pops on the outside. This is more real. What's going on inside of you, the internal planes, is more real than what's happening on the outside, because this is dead. Everything you see out in front of you is dead. So when Soul says the book is inside of you, it is inside of you. Now, I'm gonna chime in too. I got a book I've been writing for 20 years, right? And I'm like, people like, your book ain't written yet? No. Little kids are telling me, my little students, right? Because I have a method to teach, right? Mr. Taylor, you need to write a book. Little kids telling me this, right? All the ages telling me, my 50-year-olds, you need to write a book, Phil, So I realized the reason the book is not written is because the book is writing itself, because I'm getting information. I'm finding things. It's not complete. You understand? And I let it write itself, and I'm writing notes. I have my notes right here, and I'm writing it. But there are pieces that I was like, wow, 5 years ago, wow, if I had that, and it's like, it makes more sense, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's ready to, and it's going to be ready to go. You know what I mean? But you work on it. You work on it. You don't, if you stop, then it's dead. Then it's over with. But you work on it. Even if you write 3 sentences, like Soul said, he had a page written, but he was still writing, right? If you write 3 sentences, that's 3 sentences more toward your book manifesting itself. And then you already see it. It's already here. Now, Soul had that book written. He had that book written already. That book was written in him, right? You can go on his channel and hear the book, right? Thanks. But you give birth to it. So can I jump on something for a second? So to talk about manifestation,
please.
Okay, so let me tell you alchemy. This is a process of alchemy. Okay, so you have air, which represents the mind, right? You have fire, which represents the passion, right? So you put air and fire together, and what do you get? You get water, right? Water manifests and come down into earth, right? So if you look at that process, you look at actually the relationship between a man and a woman. The man represents air. The woman can represent fire, sort of, right? Those two together create water. Water, what does the baby gestate? In water. And the baby births as a solid being, as earth. So that's the process for everything, right? First, you have the thought. You have the passion that drives it. You keep working with that passion, and that thought. That's the heart and the mind again, right? Those two things together create the water, and the way you nurture it is you keep working on it. You build it. The baby is built in the womb. You build it, and then it manifests as a child. That's an alchemy process. And that's your thinking process right there.
All right, I really appreciate it, brothers. Give me
Yeah,
some
write
clarity.
your book, man. Write your book.
Yeah, I can't wait to read it, brother.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you chiming in, man.
All right, thanks, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right.
Anybody else want to chime in? What to do that leak, man? I don't want to keep you all day, brother P. Taylor. I know you.
You know what? I talked to my mentor. I haven't talked to her in ages, so she called me and she said, "I want to get on your channel." She said, "You look like your channel getting ready to do something." She has 8 books out, so she has 8 books out. She worked for herself, man. She's got speaking engagements. She's amazing, right? She told me, she said, your thing is metaphysics. And this kind of thing where I'm helping people, and I guess I'm helping people. I don't know. I hope I am, right? It feels good for me to contribute to people's lives. They told me I was a member of a SAR set, and they told me that I was part of the teaching clan. I'm a teacher, right? And so I have been very successful as a music teacher, very successful. And so maybe I'm supposed to teach now on this level. I don't know. And encourage people, you know. So
and you have been, man.
Learn. There's 2 people you can learn from. Is the wise man and the fool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've been the first, but I've definitely been the second.
Thanks. Thanks, man. Hey, let me ask you this, man, and I'm gonna start wrapping up. You know, and I was thinking about when we first joined this call, we first got on, and like the lights were flickering and all kind of things going on. And let me just ask you, what do you think, you know, in the grand scheme of things, overall, what do you think the world is doing right now, energetically? Do you think there's any kind of transitioning going on, or what are your thoughts on just life in general, what the world is doing?
Well, it's a fascinating time to be alive, my brother. It's like amazing, right? It feels like the beginning of the 1900s when they were coming into like airplanes flying and all that kind of stuff, right? I don't know, but I hope I can live long enough to see whatever's going to happen here, because but you know, it's going to do what it's going to do. But I think a point to make inside of that is, where do you want to put yourself in terms of this flow, right? And I think that a person who has their mind straight and their heart, the whole thing straight, I think we're navigating, we'll be fine. We move through it, right? I think everything's going to be fine, whatever it is. You know, we lost some people, unfortunately. That lady that was killed, she's on my mind. You know, what's a Mossad? I'm trying to remember what her name is.
I know you're talking about.
But understand that we're eternal. If you approach everything like that, everything is fine. There was a reason she moved on and learned something. Everybody learns something. We move on. We're eternal. We don't die. The thing is that we move through this show, we move through this game, this theater, and you know, we just move through it and see what's going to happen. You know what I mean? And we create things within our sphere, but we watch everything else going on. You know, and I think we talked about it. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on out here, man. You know, the things that's going on in Ukraine. You know, the things that's going on in South America right now. You know, Asia, United States with the elections. You know, Ms. Harris running for president. That's a big deal. That's huge, man. You know, a lot of people saying she's not black, but we have to define what black is. Yes, she is. You know, but and she's the first woman and all this. It's an amazing time, man. and all this knowledge and wisdom that's available to people, man. You could pick up your cell phone, man. You could, like an IBM computer in the 1960s, man, would be the size of 3 of these houses that I'm in. And you have all of that in power in your hand. That's what I would tell young people. You have the power of that in your hand. You can call anywhere on this planet. If I wanted to order a samurai sword from Japan, I could do that. All I have to do is pick and call some and press a. I don't even got to call nobody. Press a couple of things, it'll be here. That's powerful, man. You can learn. We were talking about I don't know, some actor or something on a movie we were looking at, and we were trying to figure out where's he from or who's he, and we look him up. He's on the phone. There he is. You have access. You have your hands in everything nowadays. It's a fascinating time to be alive. A lot of people say it's bad time and all that, but it depends on your perception.
Yeah.
If you think it's bad, it'll come to be bad. It's a fascinating time to be alive. I wish my dad could see this. My mom could see it. He wouldn't believe it. He told me, he said, black president, we won't have a black president in my lifetime, maybe yours. I don't even know if it's going to be your time. Right. And we have one. Then we're getting to have, I believe she's going to be elected. I'm not getting into elections and into politics or none of that. I don't want to get into that. Right. But if she does, it's fascinating. If she doesn't, it's fascinating. It's wondrous.
It's a good time to be alive. I agree. And like you said, man,
it's a great time to be alive.
Yeah. And when you think about it, like kind of like your father, because your father passed away 30 years ago.
30 years ago. Yeah. Yes, sir. 30 years ago, the 31st.
Yeah. Think about anybody that was living 30 years ago. If they just could snap back and look around right now and see, kind of like you said, man, like back then it was different. Like right now, there could be, a baseball bat in a warehouse in Japan that we could have here in a few days without talking to anybody.
Few days.
30 years ago, that's crazy. That's right. Like there's no other way. They were still delivering encyclopedias. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And they, they were playing with FedEx. I'm sorry, I'm dark, y'all, because my lights are out. I'm in the house. They were playing with FedEx. I used to work for the Post. And I used to be in charge of FedEx stuff. And it was amazing to me that they could have checks, from like California or Montana on the table the next day, right? That's like 87 or whatever it was, right? But now you got Cash App, man. You could like thousands of dollars. You can move it across the globe in seconds. You know what I mean? It's like, what are they going to have in 25 years from now? What are they going, I want to be around. I don't know if I'll be around, but I hope so. I could see, man, because it's just phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, the microsurgery, they can reattach people's fingers to their hand. And the fingers work.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the thing about they cloning the dogs?
I haven't seen that.
Okay. So what they have now is, and this is called Clone My Dog. I saw it on TV a few years ago. People are going, and when the dog passes away, they take some tissue from the dog. They go to these people. And I think they do this in Korea. They have a service in Korea. And they will take the tissue and they will clone your dog.
Wow. That's pretty wild, bro.
I'm trying to tell you,
man, type. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's some science fiction. Science fiction is science factor down, man.
Yeah. It's a wild world we live in, man. Just to, like you said, over the last 25, 30 years to see what's changed, man. Even like when I'm in Phoenix, which certain cities have this, like in Phoenix, you get the Waymos, which is just the driverless Ubers now. It's just crazy to be in a vehicle in the back seat and it's just taking you all around the city. It's just like 30 years ago, my pops would have never thought this was some Jetson stuff. This was the stuff that they would think that'd be 100 years ahead. Like, no, it was right down the street, man. So it is a good time to be alive, man. And like you say, what I love about living right now, and I think the benefit of us being alive right now is, like you said, the world is this big right now. This is how big the entire planet is.
That's how big it. That's right.
It's the size of a cell phone.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So man, that's huge, man. And it's something I want to go in on. We might have to do another call, brother. But you said something, man. And you said a man is the creator and a woman is the nurturer of that creation. But that's a heavy statement, and it's said so many different ways. But Expand on that, man, if you can.
Well,
because that's true.
So the man, right, because the man carries the seed, and the woman has the egg. But the materials brought to the man, the woman, when the seed penetrates the egg, that egg feeds that seed, and the woman is the universe of that creation. It has to, it expands within her. Everything that she's thinking, everything she's eating, she's feeling, is going to this being. And she is shaping the seed. And this is a key point. You will see what we call repetition of things in nature. When you take a seed and put it in the ground does the same thing to the seed. It provides the safe space for it. It lets it grow, gives it the water, gives it the food, nurtures it, take care of it, and let it grow. And that's why they call it Mother Earth. The woman is the nurturer, right? So when you get a woman who's a really good woman, that's like the book said, that's a good thing, because she literally manifests your dreams. You gotta get the right woman, should manifest your dreams. I was talking to this old Chinese brother, man. He's an old Chinese cat, and I used to work with him. He was like, he was like Yoda, man. Dude was like deep.
Like straight Yoda.
I said, man, what is it up with women, man? He said, your women are your luck. He said, you get a good woman, you'll be lucky. You get a bad one that's not for you, you'll be unlucky. I'm like, what? And he's right. The woman will a woman will be is your luck, is your fortune, right? He said that you get a good one. He said, know that you got a good one. And he said, I don't even look at other women. I said, come on, man. He said, I don't even look at them. I don't even bother with them. He says, but when you have a good woman in your life, that's good fortune. And you'll see.
I believe it. I believe it, man.
I've had some bad experiences. I'm not going to talk about people, but I've had bad because it wasn't for me. I'm not going to even place judgment on something, because it was good, because I learned something from it. I'm friends with those people today, but I've seen, you have to see the darkness of the night to understand what the sunshine is, because the sunshine is something different. It's a different degree of the same thing. So people complain about suffering and pain and all these kind of things, but you're not going to have, you don't have to, but I mean, you experience these things so that the world, when you do get on the other side of it, is more rich. H.G. Wells, W. Orson Welles said, death is the salt that gives life its savor. So in order to understand this life, you go through the things you go through, and you bear them, and you become stronger, and then your life becomes richer. A thirsty man will appreciate a glass of water. A simple glass of water, it tastes like wine to him.
It makes sense, bro. It makes sense, man. Well, brother, we've been on here for 2.5 hours, man. And I could talk to you till the sun come up easily. And I almost forgot that we was on a call, man. I'm thinking we on the phone. Like, we'll chop all night, brother. But man, I want to say I appreciate you for making time, man. Brother Jay said, thank you, brothers. This was a great conversation. You guys stay blessed out there. But you've definitely dropped some gold on us today, man. As expected, as you always do, man. So I just want to say,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you again, brother. And for those out there, y'all out there watching, man, I'm sure y'all loved it just as much as I did, man. Definitely go subscribe to all of Brother P. Taylor's channel. Tell them where they can find you, brother.
I'm an alchemistic gold mine. I think it's 4164. I think that's it, but it's alchemistic gold mine.
Okay.
And that's my YouTube channel. I think I have an Instagram, but I'm not usually using it that much, but subscribe to it anyway, right? Because I'm gonna work on that. There's so much to do in this life, man. I don't
Yeah.
but the YouTube channel, man, I'm working on that. That's my next baby. And I have friends that are telling me that, they listen to it every day. I'm like,
Yeah.
really? Me? Yeah, I listen to it every day. It's inspiring. I said, okay.
I'm gonna drop a link real
that's
quick
where I
to.
am on that.
I'm gonna drop a link real quick to his YouTube channel, brothers, sisters. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe, man. Subscribe to him on Instagram as well. And trust me, it won't be the last time y'all see brother Taylor on here, man. As many times as he can come up here, it has time
I
to.
like this show, man. This was fun, man.
Yeah,
This
very
was
fun, man. We got to do more. We got to do more of it. We got to do more of it, man.
Talking, man. This is great. I got some other stuff that I'm working through right now that I can't wait to share with y'all. Man. I can't wait to share with y'all some of this stuff. And the thing is, you take this stuff and you put it into practice, and you go, what? And it works. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I gotta share this with
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I was talking about when I came on, man. I said there's just like a lot of wisdom that exists that over time it gets lost, man. And I know that you're that type of that guy that you're always tapping into those things or recovering something or reading something, So yeah, man. Please share all of that, man. If anybody, I did share the link.
Man.
Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel.
I sit at the feet of God, man. I sit at the feet of the Creator, whatever that might be. And I don't think it's what we think it is, because the mind again is limited.
Yeah.
We don't even know what electricity is.
Yeah.
But I sit at that feet and I just, and I just hold my hands out and maybe catch whatever's dropped. Very humbly sit at the feet.
Man, well, appreciate that, brother. Hold up real quick. So again, man, it's Brother P. Taylor, man. Y'all will see more of him. And I say thank y'all for chiming in. Thank y'all for riding with us for 2.5 hours. And y'all have a good weekend, brothers.
All right.